Next up, we've got Alpha 4.8 in Evocati. Finally. It says Alpha 4.8 has been released and is now available to test on the PTU environment. Patch should now show version 4.8.0 PTU.11689568, in case you wanted to double check. So this is going to be a standard Evocati NDA, so we can talk about it obviously, but we can't show any footage. I will be jumping into this maybe tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to have time, to be honest. We got things to do, but I'll try and get some eyes on this so that I can give some opinions on it next week. But to be quite honest, I haven't even gotten a video done about last week's Star Citizen Live, so I'm a bit behind as it is. That being said, here's what's involved here. Testing feedback and focuses on a new mission, tactical strike groups and QV extraction stations, currently 5 locations. Tactical strike groups is going to be the big focus of this patch, and that could be good or bad. They say not ready for testing in this patch is currently the refueling missions and refueling improvements, the vehicle command module that's coming with the Ironclad, the defend location missions, the transport system update, flight suits, G-force resistance, ship hangar service T0, that's rearming and refueling from hangars and larger ships, the Ultiflex crossbow and plasma grenades. My man, Lurch Lord, dude. There you go. Your crossbow's almost here. I saw some of the stats on this that were being a little leaked, and I saw that it has 60 shots per minute as its firing rate. Obviously, it doesn't have 60 shots in a magazine, but still, that's really fast. We also got the Hammerhead Gold Standard here, and some new hairstyles. So, there's plenty that's going to be in 4.8, but most of it is not up for testing yet. There's also a new event. The return of Xenothreat is something they want us to be testing, and that's what the main focus looks like it is here. So let's talk about what is the new Xenothreat going to look like. Xenothreat has returned to Stanton. Angered by Wikilo's presence in the system, the faction has re-emerged to harass the Banu and target humans piloting alien ships. That would be really funny if they actually could systemically target players piloting alien ships. Foxwell has launched a system-wide initiative to coordinate a response, and that is where you come in. Okay, so Xenothreat's been around for a pretty long time. If you go back in Star Citizen's history, Xenothreat was the very first thing they ever introduced as an actual event in the game. I say event because this was a legitimate event. This was different from the way that they do gameplay now, which is a lot of times they drop in a location and they give you something you can do at that location over and over again throughout the year. This was a legitimate event. It's going to be an event again now, but back then, I think it ran for maybe a few weeks at a time. And here's the edginess that they brought.
We are the ones in charge. We are Xenothreat.
They weren't in charge, they lost every time. This was, I think for a lot of people, this was like the first time you realized just how crazy the events of Star Citizen could be. This was a cool event because you either got the choice. Let's see if they might talk about it here. No, I'm not seeing a good explanation of it, but they basically would have you fighting in this battle, and you got to choose different things. You could either be one of the people who was fighting off Xenothreat ships that were coming through the jump point, landing in the system, and trying to cause trouble. You could be one of the people who was getting out of a ship and going aboard these derelict ships to try and get some of the cargo you needed to get and return back to your Javelin. Or you could have been one of the people who was flying that stuff back and forth between those derelict ships and the Javelin that you had to turn them into. It was cool because you had ship pilots, ship gunners, FPS, EVA folks that wanted to explore and retrieve stuff. You had the people who wanted to fly cargo around. And that was before we had like repair and power systems and all that. So this could be a super cool event. given what we used to do in it. But let's read how it's going to play out now, because I actually have not. Return to Xenothreat is a set of 5 mercenary contracts ranging from solo intercept and defense work to a large-scale multi-crew assault on a Xenothreat-controlled Idris. Completing contracts earns progress toward a tiered reward track, with blueprints awarded along the way as you reach milestones. Blueprints, huh? The event overview reads as follows. The event consists of 5 concurrent mercenary contracts active across Stanton. Okay, while the first 4 contracts are completable solo, the Idris attack contract is designed for a coordinated squad of at least 10 players. Contract can be shared with group members via the contract manager. Multiple players on the same server can accept and run the same contracts simultaneously. You know, I hate to blow the same horn I was blowing earlier this week, but I did think that Xenothreat was going to come back with more social tools support, because you kind of run into a similar problem here where with the old Xenothreat, it would be easy enough to jump in with a group for the whole thing because the whole thing was a group thing. But if you're doing the first 4 contracts solo and the 5th one is in a group, that means that you're going to have to basically run your 4 contracts and then go and find a group, which naturally won't be easy to do because you're in the game flying around in a solo ship without people presumably already around you. So we'll see how it goes. Interesting that they're doing the 4 contracts beforehand, and I'm wondering if that 5th one is going to be all of what Xenothreat used to be. Key mechanics they've got listed here. Completing any contract earns progress on a unified reward track shared across all event missions. The Idris attack contract carries a 3-hour cooldown after completion. Is that for the whole server, I guess? I wonder if that's for the whole shard. All other contracts, like the ship wave attack, ship ambush, defend ship draw out boss, have no cooldown and can be repeated throughout the event. There are journal entries to track overall mission progress and updates as objectives are completed. So interesting. I gotta see how this actually plays out. This doesn't necessarily say that last mission is Idris attack contracts designed for a coordinated squad. Yeah, has anybody played this by any chance? I'd be interested in knowing if that final Idris mission is the same as us collecting the stuff to combat them, because it doesn't sound like they're setting that up. That's my biggest question. Is this actually Xenothreat, or is this just a bunch of waves and then Idris as a boss? And then, yeah, they are giving out blueprints as rewards for this. And that's a whole other conversation. There is no more restock the javelin. Okay, so this is just a combat mission then. This isn't really a logistics operation anymore. Oh, man. Oh, if that's the case, that's wildly disappointing. That's taken away, I think, a very unique way to do this. This is probably much easier for them to put together and deliver in a year where they're already doing a bunch of content, especially with strike groups going on. But it is a bummer, though, to see Xenothreat losing what really made it special. I don't think this is going to be nearly as interesting or as exciting to people. And I think folks will most likely do these just to get the blueprint rewards. And the blueprint rewards themselves are going to be an interesting thing to think about and consider over time, because blueprints being account bound means that people have the access to get that right when it starts, and these are gameplay changing items, components, and stuff like that. Not exactly selling them, but it is permanent. So the balance comes into question. But ultimately, you still have to craft it even when the game goes live. So that's a big conversation, not one I really wanted to have right now. This stuff about Xenothreat, I really wish I could show you guys a better representation of what the old one looked like. Yeah, this will kind of tell you what's going on. This is 3.12. So when Xenothreat originally came out. Oh, this is how the patch trailers used to be, by the way. Just feature lists. So they didn't really have any content. There it is. Oh, this is No, they didn't really show much Xenothreat there, did they?
Be ready.
Man, I don't even know. It was Assault on Stanton. So I'm not going to be able to find the Xenothreat for you, unfortunately. It's buried somewhere here in their YouTube channel. But just know this was a very multi-stage kind of thing. This is very much based around making folks play as a team, picking your roles, doing specific things, and working against a combined enemy. This feels more like it's just to test these missions and get people active in them, continue the blueprint rollouts, keep people busy, a little bit of a backup for the actual meat of this update, which is the tactical strike groups. Here, they said for tactical strike groups, they're increasing the power relays and cooling unit CS signatures to allow other missiles to home in on them. They've lowered core distortion damage, which is what you get damaged by when you're inside of the facility, lighting, LOD, ambiance, audio, fog, module, explosion, and set dressing polish. Finally, on ships and vehicles for this update, they said that vehicle uneditable and editable item port sweep has been done. Full item port audit for all ships to make sure ship components are at the correct setup for editable or uneditable. So polish getting things up to par. The funniest thing, or I don't know, funny, disappointing, if you scroll down into the comments, as you can expect, half of the people are, I think more than half actually, are just asking to join Wicca or join Xenothreat, which, like, I get the jokes, I do, but after, if 90% of the community are all saying that they want to join the racist to murder the one alien in the system, maybe it starts to make the Star Citizen community look a little bit weird, guys. We can, let's do the joke like 2 times, and then we'll move on to some other jokes. I swear, it's like so many of the comments are folks just wanting to join Xenothreat, which unfortunately we can't because they said they don't want us to have consequences for that kind of stuff and get kicked out of other places. I don't know. I think you should be able to join Xenothreat, and then all the people who do want to be in that group can see what it's like to not be able to go back to any majorly populated areas, but we'll see if Star Citizen actually wants to do that. Either way, that's your update, 4.8. First little looks at Evocati, and we'll see what's going on over the next couple weeks as we get closer to the Invictus Week patch. Cheers!